All right, so Apple TV app is here. So, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What do I think? Well, I'll let you know in a minute. But first and foremost, let me give my thanks to El Ladron. El Ladron, muchas gracias, amigo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it because he was the one that gave me a heads up to let me know that the Apple TV app it's available now. You guys can go to your Samsung televisions, all of your Samsung televisions, go to the Samsung apps, and you can go ahead and install Apple TV app onto your television. This will apply for all of the televisions, Samsung, Sony, LG, etc., etc., etc. VZO, TCL, doesn't really matter. Hinson's. This is open market, so it's open for all of the devices, whether you have a Samsung tablet, whether you have an Android tablet, whether you have a Google Pixel, Samsung Galaxy phones, it doesn't matter. You can now use the Apple TV. Now, let's talk about the Apple TV hardware first, device. Apple TV hardware device, it's something that has a very powerful chip built inside of it, and it's designed specifically for the iTunes Apple user ecosystem uh, individual, someone who is heavily invested into Apple ecosystem. So Apple TV 4K, it's something that you don't want to get rid of. You want to keep it. Don't think just because you have this app that all of a sudden now you don't need your Apple TV 4K. No, 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 no. You need your Apple TV 4K. And I'll explain to you why you need your Apple TV 4K. First and foremost, I already told you Apple TV 4K, it's a very powerful device. Okay, you can play video games on there. It has an outstanding quality in it. It has an outstanding bit rate along with a 4K resolution, HDR, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. It's a very fast device. So right there, Apple TV 4K is something that you need to keep. This is not going to replace Apple TV 4K. This app is just an extra companionship where Apple is trying to uh, give the Apple users who are heavily invested into the Apple ecosystem where they can go ahead and use their Samsung devices, their other tablets that they have, so that way they're not just tethered to a iPad or iMac or iPhone. Now they can use their other devices and they can enjoy streaming their favorite movies that they have uh, downloaded. Remember, this is just for the streaming. This is just for the movies. Okay, you cannot play video games. You cannot listen to your favorite music that you have purchased. This is just for your movies. Movies, TV shows, and that's it. Just movies and TV shows. This is just a video Apple TV iTunes streaming device. All right. Now, let's talk about it. Is it a good? Is it a bad? So what do I think? Well, let's talk about the bad. Let's just get that out of the way. All right. One of the bad is obviously there is no HDR and 4K support on this app. All right. Currently, as of now, they don't support 4K. They don't support HDR. So you're stuck with 1080p HD with like mediocre bitrate. For example, Saving Private Ryan here, I'll click on it. It really takes a long time to even buffer it. There it is. And the quality, it's really not that great. It takes about maybe 30 seconds to 39 seconds just to buffer a proper bit rate for this 1080p video. So it's a very slow buffer, and it takes a really long time for the bitrate to catch up to that really good 1080p. It's not like Blu-ray. Trust me. I don't want you guys thinking, "Oh, is this like a Blu-ray?" No, 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 no. It's really not that great. It's kind of like watching HBO or Cinemax through your Comcast digital cable. It's so-so, like really so-so. You will be disappointed by the quality. It's not the greatest quality. And I want you guys to understand, I have like a really outstanding router, 5 gigahertz router, 1 gigabit internet speed. I have DOCSIS 3.1 uh, modem. So you guys know what I can do with my internet. You've seen me live stream 4K, so you guys know what I can do with my internet. And this is just like a very crappy server that they're connecting this with. It's just not that great. And still, it's been like I paused the video, but it takes like 39 seconds to really get that decent bitrate quality onto this video. It's just disappointing. So yeah, man, I don't know how to feel about this app. I guess it's a cool companionship for your phone, for your tablet, so you can watch your movies. If you're somebody who's heavily invested into iTunes, Apple ecosystem, but if you're somebody who's heavily invested into Apple ecosystem, then all of your devices will be Apple. You're gonna have iPhone, you're gonna have iPad, iPad Pro, 12-inch, whatever they have. You're gonna have iMac, so you're gonna have Apple TV 4K device. So you're gonna be pretty much all Apple to begin with. But I guess this is kind of cool for those of us who are not like a heavily invested into Apple ecosystem, and it's kind of cool that you can bring it with you, put it on your phone. You know, maybe you want to watch this movie, Saving Private Ryan, on your phone or on your tablet, and you already purchased this movie. You have it on iTunes. It's kind of cool that maybe you can do that. All right. In terms of the app, it's okay. It's nothing, you know, that will blow your mind. It's just pretty basic. It kind of reminds me of the old, Philadelphia digital cable. That's how old I am. Uh, it looks like a digital cable signal, like quality. It's just, there's no 4K, there's no HDR. Um, I mean, these are the movies that I own. There's a Spider-Man. There's a Predator. I mean, Predator looks all right. Even Predator takes a while for it to buffer. And the quality, it's kind of like so-so. It's nothing that's gonna like blow your mind or anything like that. So, listen, should you be excited about this? I don't know, dude. It's really right now. It's nothing. I mean, I wouldn't even bother downloading it. I mean, unless you have a bunch of movies that you want to take with you and watch all those movies from the iTunes. Like I said, if you're heavily invested uh, Apple user, then your phone most likely is going to be a iPhone, and your tablet most likely is going to be an iPad, and your computer laptop's going to be most likely iMac. I mean MacBook. I'm sorry, MacBook Pro. Okay, whichever MacBook Pro you got. So just a bit disappointed that they didn't at least include 4K and HDR. I mean, Amazon Prime has 4K and HDR and Dolby Vision. Netflix has it. I mean, Apple, seriously. But I think there's a reason for this, guys. I think there's a reason. There's a reason why they're not including a HDR and 4K here, because they want you to buy Apple TV 4K. I mean, what would be the purpose of them putting HDR and 4K here and Dolby Vision here and Dolby Atmos here on this app? then you wouldn't bother buying the Apple TV 4K device. So this app is not going to replace your Apple TV device. Okay, so let me just say that right out. This is just a streaming companion that it's kind of cool to have, I guess, so that you can watch some of your movies that you have, like Terminator and Spider-Man and Transformers and stuff like that. These are the movies that I have, you know, but it's not going to change or replace your Apple TV device, you know. But for me, I guess this is kind of useful for me in some way because I like the fact that now I can download this app and I can watch it on my Note 9. I can watch these movies that I have on my Note 9, you know, and it's cool that you can take that experience with you because before you couldn't do that. You know, whatever movie you purchase on the iTunes, it has to go through either iPad or MacBook Pro. So it's cool now that we have this option. But it's disappointing that there is no 4K, that there is no HDR. It's just disappointing. So yeah, listen, this will not replace. Let me end this video just by saying this. This is not going to replace your Apple TV 4K. Okay? This is just a companion, mediocre companion that kind of will help you watch your movies. If you're traveling, if you're on the road somewhere, it was going to help you bring your movies that you have on the iTunes collection store from the movie store. It's going to help you watch these movies that you own. These are the movies that I own, so I can watch GoldenEye, take it with me and watch it on my other devices. So there's some benefit here, but again, it's a bit disappointing that there's no HDR, that there's no Dolby Vision. But I think there's a reason why they're not including an HDR and Dolby Vision, because then what would be the selling point of the Apple TV 4K if you can just download the app and watch it from your TV? All right, so obviously they're not going to do that. There's a reason why there's an Apple TV 4K, because they want you to uh, watch the movies from the Apple TV. And Apple TV 4K, it's an outstanding device. I recommend Apple TV 4K to everyone. It's an outstanding 4K HDR Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos device. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Well, there you have it. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, thanks to El Ladron for letting me know about this. Like I said, it's a cool companionship, but that's about it. It's just like a mediocre companionship that might have some benefit to you if you're somebody who would like to take this movie experience onto your other devices. But remember, it will not replace your Apple TV 4K. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.